My name is Jack Schmidt. I'm the Janet Quinney Lawson Chair in Colorado River Studies. I'm a professor of watershed sciences at Utah State University. I began life as a fluvial geomorphologist, studying the physical behavior of rivers. As time has gone on, I've evolved in my work to consider more broadly environmental management of rivers, restoration of rivers, and management of the water supply and how water supply management affects rivers. The ultimate cause of the problem is that runoff from the Colorado River's watershed has declined significantly in a warming climate. Today's runoff in the 21st century for the last 22 years has been approximately 15% less than the average runoff in the mid and late 20th century, and has been about 32% less than runoff in the early 20th century when the Colorado River Compact was negotiated. That ultimate cause is ultimately related to carbon loading in the atmosphere, a warming atmosphere, which leads to a longer growing season in the mountains, rising elevations of tree line, drier soils, sublimation of the snowpack, that all leads to less water getting into the river system. The proximate cause is that human society uses more water than comes into the system. So the proximate cause is that we as a human society have not been able to reduce our use consistent with the decrease in the available supply or the runoff. And when you use more water than is the natural runoff, you drain the reservoirs to sustain higher use. The American West is the most urbanized part of the United States in the sense of the proportion of the population that lives in cities. And then we have isolated pockets of irrigated land. Those cities exist because we import water from distant sources to those cities. And irrigation occurs, or agriculture occurs, because we have to irrigate our farm fields. So both cities and agriculture are extremely dependent on supplemental water sources. That water, either in total or in part, sustains Southern California, one of the largest economic entities in the world, Phoenix, the fifth largest city in the United States, other large cities such as Tucson, Las Vegas, provide supplementary water, very importantly, to the Colorado Front Range cities of Fort Collins, Denver, Colorado Springs, the Wasatch Front, including Salt Lake City, and supplemental and important flows to Albuquerque and Cheyenne. It's extremely helpful. And it is important to realize that Lake Mead and Lake Powell are the two largest reservoirs in the United States. So if we keep using water at the same rate that we have used it on average through the 21st century, we would need 4 additional years, just as wet as this year, to refill Lake Powell and Lake Mead. I don't think there's any climate scientist who would project that would be the case. We'll get a bumper great water year like this every once in a while. This year is highly unusual. But this would have to become the new climatic normal for us to get us out of the jam we're in. All models for climate project a continually and increasingly warm atmosphere. So the vast majority of models predict continual decline in runoff and supply.